What delivers the cold? Is it a refrigerant or?
It's a refrigerant.
Yes.
It pulls the fat tissue
There's a metal plate.
into the
It's
vacuum.
hard to see, but the orange plates on either side, those cool. And so people, excuse me, people will ask, well, you know, that's really thin. Well, if you remember the picture where it was pulled up in completely, it's like you pull this area up into, okay, I'll do the paper thing when I'm talking to patients about it. So you've got this area that you're bothered with, what pulls it up into and cools either side, and then when it comes out,
So it's actually a bigger.
you've done a bigger area than you actually think because of pulling it up in and cooling on either side. Okay. Same thing on with the small one. It's going to pull it up in and then release. And so you don't just have this small band you do. You actually have a pretty wide area. It's probably smaller than this, maybe this big of an area that's been cooled and treated. And we actually have some before and after, some pictures we took of patients during the procedure, so you can actually see, this is what it looks like when we mark you, this is what it looks like afterwards, and you see the large red area, even though
it looks small.
This portion is small, the area that's
When
red
you
and
take it
affected is rather large.
So it can take up to 4 months to see the full results.
But at 8
Because it
weeks,
hasn't been
we
4
bring
months
people,
today.
6 to 8 weeks, sometimes 10, we bring people back, get their after photos, do a second consultation, decide if they want to do, they may want to do a second just on the abdomen, but they're happy with the love handle area because they've got the 25% reduction here, but this was a bigger problem. You can go on and do a second treatment, and get another 25% reduction. But we make that decision together about how happy are you, are your clothes fitting better, we make a decision about whether or not to proceed. Now, you can go ahead and do it at the 8-week mark. Even though if you didn't do it at the 8-week mark, you could potentially still be shrinking, but it is safe to go ahead and do it. So you're going to get just a whole new round of fat loss on top of what some that you may have still been getting anyway. But you can repeat the procedure at the 8-week mark.
Oh, okay.
What about scar tissue? I had 3 C-sections.
We try to stay above or below the belly button and any scars. If a little bit of your scar gets right in the edge, and it's not so much that it will damage your scar, it's just sometimes scars are sensitive. And so we try to get it where we can figure out how we can do it around. Typically, a roll in a woman is right above between the belly button and the C-section scar. In fact, the patient that one of them had a C-section scar, so it hasn't been a problem. Now, if you have a big, gallbladder or an appendectomy scar, it could get to be an issue. And then if it's a really old scar, it's not obviously if you had surgery 3 months ago, we don't want to do that. But an old scar is not going to be a problem.
I had a C-section and then I had another surgery and it was fine.
Won't do anything for stretch marks, cellulite, or loose skin.
The other thing that we can do too is use the small applicator, and we can actually position it almost like a V, okay? And then maybe come above to treat the area if there is a scar. Because we have had some patients, and sometimes a scar can adhere, and it's painful if you pull on it. So we can maneuver around it with the different size applicators.